People often talk about Mulholland Drive and they say first half is a dream and the end is the reality and she can't live with herself and that's what's causing her to have this horrible nightmare. Yes, I think that tracks. At the same time, that never felt totally satisfactory. When they go to Club Silencio and it's revealed that it's all an illusion, this to me is sort of connected to the concept of the Maya, which is this sort of Hindu Vedic concept that all of reality we move through is kind of a hologram. It's kind of a non-reality, and our desires tell us it's a reality. It's all a recording. No part of this movie is reality. I remembered this piece that comes up in Twin Peaks where Agent Gordon Cooper loses his ring, and I think the giant at some point, he talks about the ring and he says, desire and suffering, they're the two halves, and together they create the ring. And the ring is this kind of cycle of existence without transcendence. This is the cycle of suffering that Buddhism talks about. Can you think of the two halves of Mulholland Drive as the desire half and the suffering half? In the first part, she has all these hopes of going to Hollywood. She's going to be a famous actress. But in the second half, it's distorted through the lens of bitterness, of suffering, of not getting the thing. Having these hopes of who you might be breeds this painful, bitter realization that you will never be your fantasy. You actually can't have suffering without desire, and you can't have desire without suffering. They exist to create each other, and together they create this circle, which begs the question, if that's true in Mulholland Drive, then where is reality? And I would say the reality is in the blackness of that blue box. On one side is desire, on the other side is suffering. But if you can stay in that darkness, if you can stay in that pinpoint of the present moment, that's where you transcend. And the thing about, this transcendent present moment is it's so easy to fall out of it. It's so easy to fall out into either rumination or fantasy. Every single moment, we are at risk of falling out into either direction. The cycle of desire and suffering, that's what the ego is trapped in. So how do you transcend the ego? You realize all of this is an illusion, which is kind of like the lady with the blue hair. She's sort of the mistress of all of this illusory affair. And then this homeless person behind Winky's is another killer of ego, right? Like if you lose your status, if you lose your money, if you lose your home, you end up this kind of non-person. And that's terrifying to all of us, right? It's so scary. The ego never wants to die, but that's the way out. We are something other than our ego, and that thing is strange and mysterious and perhaps scary. That, I think, is what Mulholland Drive is trying to say. Let me know what you think.